Welcome back to another episode of Roundball. It's myself, Jeff Nadu, and Hunter Dickinson. Boys, Jeff, actually, how many games do we have tomorrow?
I don't have the exact
It's like
number.
180 or
Yeah,
some shit.
well, remember there's 363 teams this year, so there's a lot of games tomorrow.
What I don't even know. Not a math guy, so I'm not gonna even try and do that. But there's a shit. I think every team's playing tomorrow.
It's about 180 games times two. Yeah, so yeah, 100 and there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a shit ton, and I cannot fucking wait. It's been a long time. I know there's one guy on here that's probably real excited who actually looks like he has a face and doesn't look like he's like blurry everywhere. Hunter, you played a exhibition game.
Yep.
You scored 9 points. You didn't have to do much. I like to just give you shit when you scored 9 points, but you also like your team just Jet had 30, right?
Yep.
And Kobe had 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so how was the first game exhibition?
Yeah. I mean, obviously coming in, I thought Ferris State was going to be pretty good. Looking at the film, they look like a really good Division II team. They had a lot of skill. Obviously, they were a bit undersized, but the skill was definitely there. They gave us a good little test. I think, the score was probably a little bit closer because of, the people that we put in at the end of the game. Like we had everybody play, equal minutes. And so the score was a little bit closer. If you looked at the box score, you want to kind of get a whole sense of the game. I think when I came out, we were up like 25 or something like that. But I think it was really good for us. I mean, like you said, we had two guys combined for 50. And so whenever you have that, it was obviously a good offensive night for us. And so that was a really good tune-up game for us heading into Monday against Purdue Fort Wayne. And so, it was exciting to see those two young bulls show out.
Does all right? So does Jet get like because he's the coach's son? Is that anything a little weird on the team? Obviously, he dropped 30, so he can do what the fuck he wants. But is it like a little weird to have like is people talking shit a little bit, be like, oh, this guy's getting play minutes. His dad's coach.
No, because I mean, obviously, Jace, Jawan's other son, has been with me since I've been here. He was in the
Yeah.
same class as me, and so I think we've all been used to it. Or all the guys that have been here. Jet coming up. If anything, Jet gets it. Probably between me, him, and Jace. We all probably get it the worst out of everybody on the team in terms of Jawan's yelling, and so for him, he's obviously it's different because they never played under Jawan before that. Like this is their first time having him as a coach, and so it's still they're still adjusting to it. But Jet's done a really good job of trying to hear the message instead of the tone when Jawan goes off on some. So it's definitely not easy, or it's not easier for Jet that he's the coach's son. If anything, and it's probably a little bit harder because Jawan's got such high expectations for like his players because he demands a lot, and he feels like we are all capable of a lot. So it's definitely not easy for Jet.
Let me
If
tell
you
you.
can get Kobe Buffkin to keep playing that well, very good starting five, right? I
He was
mean,
a McDonald's All American.
yeah, I mean he was really good. And you mentioned Jet. I mean, you have Joey Baker, you have the kid from Lebanon. You have there's a lot of depth there with that team. A lot of depth.
If
Very
Joey
interesting.
Baker, if Joey Baker starts hitting threes, I'm gonna lose my shit. I will lose my fucking mind because I love that guy. I really do. I was his biggest supporter, being like, this guy is going to be good because I see him shoot and he's wet, absolutely wet from three. But it just didn't happen at Duke, and I guarantee he's gonna throw it in my face at fucking Michigan. You think so?
I mean, he's definitely gonna have a chance to play. He's not starting, but he's definitely in the top in the rotation, and so he's definitely gonna get some minutes for
I
us.
feel like he can be like a type of like if he actually plays his potential, that's a great seventh guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think sixth, seventh guy is definitely his role. I mean, for him being a shooter in our offense, he's gonna get a lot of open looks, and so I mean, like you said, he's a shooter, and so I think he's one of the best shooters in the Big Ten, and so I think he'll definitely have a big role on this team for sure for us.
Bro, I'm just excited we're like actually talking basketball now. Like we were all hypotheticals, fucking talking to Goodman and And Jay Billis, like Nadu's he's hard as a rock over there. Look at him.
Well, it's funny. We actually, we always talk about how great day basketball is during the week and stuff. The games actually start tomorrow at noon. Baylor plays Mississippi Valley State University, which is interesting because Mississippi Valley State I have is the worst team in America. Okay, on paper.
That's good to know.
Right. They're a top 5. They're playing a top 5 team. The last time they played a top 10 team, they lost by 80 to Arkansas 2 years ago. So very interesting start. Could be like a 99-49 type of game. So
I've been in I don't want to watch on YouTube. I've been in so many fights with Nadu over my career. When he starts going like this, it's over. He starts getting real pissed. He's
Ryan McCaffrey has never made it to the second weekend.
Passionate.
I know. I love the passionate.
I remember when they used to have like that 24 hours of basketball. They used to have some guys
bro.
That used to be the best thing ever.
The best thing ever. I wish it was still there. I don't know why it's not. Like 12 o'clock at night, you get a game. It's like, what the fuck's
you wake up at like 6 a.m. Somebody's like at halftime already. It's amazing.
I was actually going to propose at some point. This was way 3-4 years ago before I ever was at Barstool. But I actually proposed, and I wanted to do that at some point, like do a 24-hour stream and just game to games. All 24 hours.
How about you? I think you should do it tomorrow.
Well, I'm not prepared mentally or physically, I don't think, but maybe next year. But yes, Hunter, that's a great point. I definitely missed that. I think a lot of people miss it. It was great. You wake up 3 a.m., there's a game on somewhere.
Yeah.
Hawaii or something.
I'm glad they're bringing back the boat games. I was talking to Izzo about that.
Oh, really? You're happy about that?
I mean, I growing up, that was like a dream of mine to be able to play on that.
It's a cool like look. I don't know how it is to play basketball.
Pretty hideous basketball, though.
Well, yeah, it's got to be pretty crazy playing outside, but I mean, that looks like the coolest atmosphere ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But it is kind of outrageous. Like, if it's just fucking windy out, like, you can't really do much.
That's how it was the last time I remember they did it. It was like balls were blowing all over the place. It was rough.
I'm just trying to shoot a 3 and it just completely like that's like playing in the
pass it this way and it just goes that way.
Yeah, like they should do double rims, like really make it like a park. Like really,
it's gonna be like 10 to 12.
Yeah, that would be electric. The over under for that, Jeff's got to be like literally 40.
I got to go back to the last. I think the last time they did it was in 2013, maybe.
Who is it this year? It's Michigan State and who?
I don't know. Is it this year or is it next year?
I believe it's this year. I think it's Gonzaga. I will say, I think the last time they played, it was like 60 to 45. Like it was a pretty low scoring game. That was a while ago. It was probably 10 years ago. But I don't know who's in it this year. I forget. I think Gonzaga, I think.
So, again, we have like 180 games tomorrow. But on Friday, I want to tell you guys that we have the Barstool Invitational. We have Mississippi State, Toledo, UAB, and Akron. It's going to be an electric event. We got Yak basketball at halftime. We got half-court shots for $15,000. Nadu might be on the halftime call. I'll be there. It's going to be fantastic. It's in Philly, so go make sure you buy your tickets. If you can't make it on all Barstool channels, it will be there. It's going to be wild. Like, just not on TV. It's just on Barstool Sports. Like, that's kind of sick.
Is there a way we can get Nadu to like shoot some type of shot, and if he makes it?
It's funny you say that. When I was at the office last week, Marty, you weren't there, but I actually asked, who did I think Roan, actually. I asked, could I play in Yak basketball? And he said, we didn't think about that, but yeah, you should. I might actually play. We'll see.
Did you see him play, Hunter?
Nadu? No.
Oh, man. I almost want to.
We got to get you to rate that.
Next episode, don't watch, but next episode, I want to somehow get the YouTube clip of his shot and what he did, and I need you to watch it because it's
all right. But Hunter, you got to understand the logistics. Okay.
What are the logistics?
Okay. First of all, it was at like 6 a.m. on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I was hanging out, staying in Jersey. It was super early. I was playing up for the camera, Marty. Okay, I'm a little bit better than I showed. But yes, don't watch it. We got to get you to look at it. But no, it is funny. I'm not a basketball player. I'm a fucking, who knows? But
I do think you played up for the camera, but I don't think you're better than that. I don't think you.
I'm a little better than that.
I want to see your shot. We'll do a video, Nadu, and we'll show how we're the actual good basketball players instead of Hunter and Jordan.
Yes, that would maybe be true.
Jordan, by the way, you don't hear him because he's in the G League fucking play. He played 6 minutes the other night. That's our guy. 0 for 1. I think I wanted to talk a little shit to him. I want him to shoot way more. I at this point he should don't even give a fuck. Shoot as much as you can. But this episode, I want to go through our Power 5 conferences of who we think is going to be the winner. Final 4. I want Jeff to do sleepers just to get the people ready. And then,
hey Marty,
yeah,
just wanted to say one thing. The Carrier game is actually this week, November 11th. It's Michigan State and Gonzaga at Michigan State, Gonzaga in San Diego. That's where it is. That's
wild.
Yeah, it's on Friday. So,
well, don't watch that. Watch the Barstool Invitational on Friday. All right. So, first conference, I want to get it over with. I'm not even going to really talk about it because I know you guys will get sick of it. I want to just ACC. What do you guys think the ACC? Do you guys honestly think UNC is the best team in college basketball?
Yeah. I mean, I would have them as the number 1 team. I think they're the favorite, surely, and I think they're the favorite in this conference. I will say, I think there are other teams. Obviously, Duke is very good. I think Virginia is a very good basketball team. I have them as a sleeper. They're a team that I'm always going to look at. But yeah, I think UNC from top to bottom is the best team in America. They return a cadre of just terrific players, led by Baycott. Caleb Love just was incredible last season. We remember him in the tournament. They're a high-level rebounding team. They're well coached. They just do everything well. To me, I think they're the worthy pick. I know you're not going to pick them because we know that you don't do that. But I think they're surely the number 1 team.
Well, I'm very transparent.
Are you really?
I'm very transparent. Let me tell you, I'm going to try and do my best to talk about UNC without hating them. But I have to pose the question of how they usually are, about what UCLA did from when they went from 11 to the Final 4, and it's like they were an 11 for a reason. UNC was a 9 for a reason. They were barely if they didn't make the tournament last year, no one would blink an eye because they weren't that great. So I know they have returned everybody. They went to the championship and lost, but does it not concern a little bit that they weren't that good last year until they got hot at the right time?
Well, I think surely it does. I mean, that's obviously a very astute point by you, and that could surely happen. We can't account for injuries and things like that, but I look at the little things they did to get better. We don't have a crystal ball, any of us, but I think on the surface coming into the season on paper, you have to put them there. I think Pete Nance
with that, though.
Pete Nance is a net positive over Brady Manick. He just is. He's a better player. That gives them another level. Plus, they bring back so much. I mean, I have Leaky Black as the best defender in the country individually. So you have a kid like that coming back. You have just the talent. Say that again?
No, Caleb McConnell, man.
Caleb McConnell, I agree.
Still, wherever we rank them, we can agree that he's a top-level kid, right? They just have do-it-all kids. They have great guard play. They have bigs. They have depth. They have the coaching. But that's a good point by you. That's something we don't think about enough. But again, the tournament's all about getting hot at the right time. So
it is UNC, they got hot. They also ran the St. Peter's in what was that? The Elite Eight. They got a kind of a lucky draw at that point where St. Peter's magic was completely done. They couldn't keep doing that. I don't know. There's just, Hunter, what do you think? Because you know Baycott pretty well. He's obviously a great big. He's old as fuck. He's been there for so long. And we interviewed him last year. He's a great kid. He'd go fuck himself this year because I just can't stand that goddamn team. But what do you what's your thoughts on UNC because and just being in the game?
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. They'd probably. Obviously, they'd have to be the favorites. They're however you rank the top teams. They're at least the top 5 team in the country. Like you said, they're bringing back everybody. And then I totally agree with Jeff. Pete Nance
he's good.
100% an upgrade. I mean, Brady Manick was no slouch, but
I think Brady Manick. Sorry to cut you off. I think Brady Manick, like, he played way better than his fucking potential. He was shooting he was making shots that I don't think he's ever made before in his entire life.
But I mean, I think one thing that people have to understand is like it is a lot easier when you're playing with other great players. Like it makes it so much easier when all you have to do is honestly like just spot up, catch and shoot. And then like when you're like the 3rd or 4th option on a team and like you don't have like the defense helping in as much, it's so much easier to score. And so I'm not saying like they were playing off Brady Manick, but when you got Baycott, Caleb Love, even RJ Davis, like with those guys are so dangerous, it definitely makes it a lot easier on you, especially if you got Baycott and he's demanding double teams and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd agree with UNC being the favorite to probably win that. I think the ACC is probably not as deep as it used to be. You know, we're usually used to having ACC, like everybody's, going to be ranked pretty much. This year, when I was looking at it, it seemed a little weaker than usual. I think a dark horse for me, obviously scrimmage in Florida State, seeing them, they're obviously a dark horse. They got a great coach. I think Miami Hurricanes is another school. They got the transfer Nigel Pack coming in from Kansas State. They got Wong coming back. They got that duo right there is going to be crazy. I don't think there's many duos better than that in college basketball. So I think that's definitely a sleeper team for me.
One thing about Nance that you have to remember as well, out of all of college basketball, there are thousands of players. He was 21st in three-point percentage. 21st. He made 42 of 92 threes. That's an incredibly high shooting percentage. You have that paired with Baycott. That's just kind of a wealth of riches. That's a great point about Florida State as well. Always a very durable, deep team, long, lengthy.
Bro, every year they're long. Yeah. They're the longest people of all time. Every year they must only I know he just goes out and recruits wingspan. That's it.
And they have 9 or 10 of those guys. Just long, lengthy kids. They're pogo stick athletes, and they're just a bear to deal with. Now, the one problem that Leonard had last year was the guard play was not good enough. You need guards. You have to be able to get the ball to those big kids, and he didn't necessarily have that over the last year or two. I will mention Virginia. Okay, I'm going to be banging the drum on this team. I know they're not the most aesthetically pleasing team to watch on offense, but the truth is they're a carefully orchestrated ballet on defense. It's that simple.
Oh, for sure. I know.
They defend. They truly love to defend there. But keep an eye on them this year. They have Jaden Gardner, who's a really good scorer. Armand Franklin, who I know you played against, Hunter at Indiana. And they brought in a kid from Ohio, Ben Vanderplas. I think he can really help. The mover blocker offense, it's a weird offense. It's about coming off screens and hitting jump shots. They're a really interesting team. We've kind of forgot about Virginia. But Marty, I know you're all about Duke. Let's hear about Duke. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to spend too much time on them because I actually agree with you. Virginia, I think, is going to be way better this year. Their defense is they're abysmal to watch. Like, I just don't like watching them. If you really love basketball, I guess you can, but I just don't give a shit. I want to see scoring. But Duke, I mean, it's the same fucking thing every year. It's how are these freshmen going to play? The one good thing we have Jeremy Roach back, who, to be completely honest, wasn't great until the March Madness. He was unbelievable. He's the reason why they pretty much got far enough. And it's almost watching Paolo play in the NBA right now. It's almost like, how the fuck did we not win? Because he is actually incredible. Like, he's dropping 25 a night in the NBA, and we couldn't beat fucking UNC. It just makes no sense. But no, I mean, Lively. I mean, we're a little hurt already, but I could tell you there's going to be some players, we're going to have some JJ Redicks, where people hate them. We got a couple white guys that people will hate on the team. And I think that's when Duke's at its best. And I don't know, I think it's kind of nice to get away from the Coach K shit. Last year was a lot of pressure. The Coach K shit was annoying for everyone. And it's Shire's basically been the coach anyway. He's been recruiting everyone. These guys know him. So it'll be fun to see.
You mentioned Joey Baker. Okay, Jacob Grandison, I think he's a kid that people need to start thinking about a little bit.
Yeah.
He is a knockdown shooter. Okay, he is really good at that level. Derek Lively, saw him in high school,
He's
top
disgusting.
five
He's
player,
disgusting.
obviously.
You
Yeah,
know who it's Kyle Flipowski isn't a guy that's just his face is just good. People are gonna hate it.
Imagine if I would have went there, Marty. Oh, I would have been.
Oh man, you would have
you would
been
have fit perfect there.
you would have been yeah, you would have been like one of the most perfect people to go to Duke.
They would have hated.
All right, so that's enough on the ACC. Who do you guys have? You have UNC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go UNC.
All right, I'm obviously going Duke. I want to move on to the next conference, the Big 12. I am head over heels for a team, and I think Jeff is as well. Who's your favorite team in the Big 12?
I already know this.
Texas.
I think I'm obsessed with. I think they're going to be so fucking good, so good. And I know I know a little secrets. Their secret scrimmage they had, and I heard a lot about them. And they're for real early this year. I think last year they couldn't get accustomed to everything, like new coach, like transfers. They couldn't get accustomed early, and I think that they are accustomed now, and I think they're going to be very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sky's the limit for them, as you said. I mean, you don't have to worry about the whole, transition between Beard and all the stuff off the court. You have certain kids there last year, Trey Mitchell being one of them, that was just kind of a negative attitude in the locker room. You get those kind of guys out. Look, they weren't very healthy. Dylan Disu wasn't healthy all year. They need him. He's a very big cog to the front of that lineup in the front court. I think their guard play is really good. They kind of had some transition holdovers from the previous era, the Andrew Jones, those kids that were there. But I think Tyrese Hunter really stabilizes the point guard position for them. He is not a glitzy, glammy kid that's going to score 20 points a game, but he's a good point guard. Throw in the fact that Marcus Carr can now play off the ball, which you want. That's where he's better suitable. They're going to be the best defense in the country, in my opinion. That's something that Beard always is going to really all be about. They have depth. Timmy Allen, the kid from Utah, I think if you can keep him healthy too, that's a big thing. They're not going to score 80 points a game, but they're not going to have to. I think they're going to win a lot of 69, 62 type of games. Yeah, I love Texas. Give me Beard all day.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hate that I'm agreeing with Jeff here. I do like Texas a lot. I think
Why?
Like you said, Tyrese Hunter. If the only problem with him, he can't really shoot too good. I think that's probably the biggest knock on him right now. But Marcus Carr is a bucket. I remember him in Minnesota. I'm actually surprised he's still in college.
Me too, but I think he's gonna I think he's gonna be real good this year. He was kind of shaky a little bit.
The problem with me in the Big 12 though is I don't know how many good bigs they have in there. I was looking up who I was going to pick. I looked at Baylor. I mean, they have the two bigs that were there for the national championship run. They got Keontae George, who played with Jet Howard, and Jet's been telling me a lot about him, and so he's really high on him. But I was looking at the Big 12. I think Jeff's right. I think Texas probably has. If I would have had to go somebody right now, I would feel like Texas, just with the roster, and then Chris Beard is a good coach. I'll give him that. He is a good coach, and so I think with all that thing, with all those things, I feel like right now I'd have to put Texas at the top. But I'm also high on Baylor, and then of course Kansas with Bill Self is always going to be up there too.
I think one other thing, and we saw Texas last year kind of battling it out with Texas Tech because of the coaching stuff. Texas Tech's very good. We heard Jeff Goodman talk about that, I believe. I think he mentioned Texas Tech. You talk about a lack of bigs in this conference. That's a good point by you. I will say, and this is where I get my nerdy mid-major stuff going here. Texas Tech has a kid called Fardar Zamik. That's his real name. He played at Utah Valley. He is really good big, really good. Okay, he's going to come in and play really well at Texas Tech for that group.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I forgot about him, actually.
Yeah, big kid, Canadian kid, very good player. Yeah. They also bring back a lot of talent from last season. Well, and they bring in Oregon's Devion Harmon, who was a good player. So, yeah, they're a key team to keep an eye on as well. But, Marty, you're picking them too here, right?
I do. I am. I'm real high on them. I think the Big 12 is it's a scary, scary conference in my opinion. What would you rank them in your top three in Power 5? Do you think they're one of the top conferences this year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you can make the case that year after year they're the best conference in college basketball.
They really
from
have
top to
been.
bottom. You really just look at even the bottom tier teams. I mean, we haven't even gotten into like the TCUs, the Oklahomas, who we have to remember. Oklahoma's coached by Porter Moser. I mean, Porter Moser was a terrific coach at Loyola. He now has a full year. That's an interesting team that's always there. There are so many deep teams in this conference. It's really crazy. We didn't even really talk about Kansas either. And I think we all just kind of think, well, they're not going to repeat. That's hard to do. But they're really good too. So yeah, this is the best conference to me in college basketball. That's that simple. That in the SEC.
That one.
What do you mean you don't know about that one?
It's true. That in the SEC.
So last year, the Big Ten wasn't the best conference, just top to bottom.
I think the top three. Listen, there's not a lot of wiggle room either. I love the Big Ten. I know Marty doesn't. I love the Big Ten. I love the camaraderie and the parity. But no, I think that the Big 12 top to bottom is the best conference. It's that simple. Because the problem with the Big 10 is they have teams like Nebraska and groups like that, which I think hurt the
You really just hop on Nebraska. It's not right.
They're a bad team. They just are.
Well, the Big 10. All right, let's move the Big 10. I'm on Texas Big 12.
Same.
West Virginia will always be a team to me that like they just don't. They never get that fucking guy who just gets them over the hump. They're a team you don't really want to play because they're always up in your ass, and they don't really do the press. Virginia comes out sometimes, but the Big 12, I'm on Texas, but I want to go to the Big 10 because the Big 10, everything I always say is you guys, it obviously is one of the best conferences, one of the best, but you guys all beat the shit out of each other.
Exactly.
And you, what?
I said exactly.
Yeah, you beat the shit out of each other, but then it's all kind of comes out that you guys are all doesn't like get to elite in the tournament, which has been a problem, which is just a fact. But like this year, Michigan, Ohio State is both really good. Wisconsin should be good. Indiana is like if they're not good, they are. I think they might tear down the entire place because they'll lose their mind.
If they don't make it to like either if they don't win the Big Ten or make it to the second weekend, you're right. There might be riots.
They're gonna lose it. They're gonna start flipping cars and shit. Yeah, like I don't like this team, but I think Illinois is gonna be good this year. I really do think they're gonna be. They have the Baylor kid, right?
Matt Mayer.
Yeah, like I think them also losing Curbelo was the best thing they can do for that team. I think Curbelo thought he was going to be like this stud, and he turns the ball over every time. He's at St. John's now, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Curbelo also. Have you guys seen him, Coach Carter?
Yeah, Coach Carter. Yeah.
Curbelo is the kid who like quits the team and
with the hair.
In the hair, yeah, like he's just him. It's exactly him.
Wait, well, hold on a second. Wait, hold on.
You're talking about the guy who made him do like 500 push-ups. Like
you're talking about Timo Cruz?
Yeah, yes, I am. Timo Cruz.
He actually looks like that's actually a funny comparison.
It's exactly him. But yeah, I think the Big Ten is deep, but you guys have a lot to prove. And I think Michigan has a lot to prove as well, like especially with you being there still. Like you're one of the top players in the entire league. Like people know, you watch college basketball, people know Hunter Dickinson. It's a big year for you. I'm going to put all the pressure on you. It's a big year for you.
Do it, Marty. Go ahead.
You need it, right?
Everybody else is doing it. You might as well do it too.
Yeah,
right?
I might as well. Like that, you need to have a good year. Michigan needs to have a good year. Like the expectations were real high last year, even though you didn't succeed those during the season, but you made it the furthest, I think, besides Purdue. Like in the Big Ten, like you guys had a great March. It's just, I think it's almost better for you guys don't have the huge expectations this year. Like you just got your team. You have a solid team. Do you think that you have a lot to prove as well?
Man, all I'm gonna say is I wish we would have played St. Peter's instead of Villanova. I think we would have been in the Elite Eight. I wish we would have got that lucky draw. But I mean, yeah, obviously going to the Big Ten, we're gonna win it. But yeah, but like I mean, if I had to pick, like, you know, if Michigan, you know, like if for some reason we like canceled the season and we weren't able to be in it, I'd obviously the two picks are either Illinois or Indiana. If I had to go with it, I'd probably say it's tough because I feel like either like whichever one I pick, the other fan base is just going to hate me. But like, do I really care? Do I really care? No, I don't. I really don't. So I don't want to give Illinois fans the satisfaction of this, but I'd probably pick them just because I really like that Terrence Shannon Mayer combo. That combo is going to be good. Sky Clark should be, you know, one of the top freshmen. I mean, Coach Underwood is obviously a good coach, and so for them, I think they have it. But I did see the Indiana scrimmage, and Hutch Fino did look like everybody's been telling him to be. If he can be that extra offense that they don't even really need, they just need a little bit more shooting. But if he can be that extra offense for them, they're going to be damn good. If I had to pick the sleeper team in the conference, though, I would say Maryland.
Really?
I think Maryland with Coach Willard there is going to be.
Jeff is giving you a snarling eye.
Look, they're not deep. They're not deep at all. I think that'll probably be the big scouting report on them. I think they might go 6 deep maybe. But that starting 5, I'm a big fan on Jameer Young, Julian Reese, those 2 guys, DMV guys. I'm big fans on them. I think they'll be really good this year for them. But then I think the Big Ten is taking a little bit of a step back. I think it's hard for us to kind of repeat every year with the amount of talent that we've had. Obviously, Michigan State's going to be really good. I think the one thing that people forget about the Big Ten, I do believe we have the best coaches in the country. If you look top to bottom, even you guys talk crap about Nebraska, Hoiberg is a good coach. He runs great sets. It's just hard to get guys to go to freaking Lincoln, Nebraska, okay? That's the hard part about it. But then you got guys like Shrewsbury from Penn State, one of the best coaches. Everybody knows about Matt Painter, Izzo, obviously Jawan. But
even Willard's a good coach.
Exactly. That's why I think there'll be a sleeper.
He's better than Turgeon. Turgeon is.
I was better than Turgeon.
Yeah, Turgeon sucks.
Dude, you could have.
So I'm gonna surprise with this answer. I think Michigan's going to win the Big Ten, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a couple of reasons why. So
there we go.
We hear about Trayce Jackson-Davis. That's all we hear about, right? Okay. The truth of the matter is, Michigan went in and waxed the fuck out of them in Assembly Hall, 80-62. You know how many points Hunter Dickinson had? 25.
How many threes, Jeff?
The lunch of Indiana. Okay.
How many threes did he hit?
I don't have that in front of me. I think 4, 3, maybe.
How much was it, Hunter?
I think it was 3.
3 for 4, yeah. Look, I like Hood Schifino. I'm telling you right now, I really do. I like Sky Clark. But I'm going to tell you, this Jalen Llewellyn kid, I think he's the best of the 3 guards this group has brought in over the last couple of years to fill the role of point guard. Okay, I think he's better than Mike Smith. I think he's better than Devontae Jones. I loved him at Princeton. He was an all-Ivy kid. I like Bufkin. I thought that scrimmage was really good to see. I think he's a top 50 player when he came in, and he's, I think, going to prove that. Obviously, the Howards, I think that's going to be really interesting, preferably Jet, obviously. We obviously know Hunter's a proven commodity, and I think this bench is better than people think. Joey Baker, I think, is going to give them a nice lift off the bench shooting. Yusuf Kayat, he's a guy that I think a lot of people are high on, and I'm sure Hunter will talk about. This team has some kids, Jace obviously as well, and they have Jawan, who I think has a chip on his shoulder after some of the stuff that happened after the last season with guard and some of that stuff. And this was not, at least from Michigan's standpoint, this was not a successful season last year, right? They expect to be a Final Four caliber team, and they just weren't. I think they're a really talented roster, and I think starting 5-wise, they're right up there with the best teams in the Big Ten. And he's right. This is not a great Big Ten. A team to keep an eye on, Ohio State. I know no one wants to hear that. I like Ohio State.
No, I agree.
Defensively last year, they weren't good, but they added Isaac Likaleli Oklahoma State transfer. He's a dog on defense, man. Sean McNeil, new place.
I'm just letting his last name is Likely. That's just a fact.
Well, likely, whatever.
I thought it was likely too. I'm pretty sure it's likely.
It's definitely likely. But
I think it's
Likelelli is a wild.
The truth is, though, like there are certain pronunciations that I guess we'll have to figure that out and find out. Maybe we can have
listen to me. I'm not. You think I'm gonna take? I'm not the grammar or the pronunciation guy, but I'm just saying Likelelli and Likely is
ukulele.
Yeah, you said ukulele.
Yeah, so I would have to get the pronunciation correct, but I'm sure we'll figure that out at some point. But yeah, I really like them. I think Holtman, another guy who doesn't really get a ton of press, but a good coach as well. They need to stay healthy. Justice Sewing, Seth Towns, a lot of those kids were injured last year. I think if they can stay healthy, they're an interesting team. Purdue will be around. It's a great conference, really. You guys always mention Rutgers. They have some dogs on defense. But yeah, I'm going to go with Michigan here. I think Michigan's the best team in the Big Ten when it's all said and done.
Thank you.
Well, we can't all have Michigan, so I'm not going to do that. But I think you guys are going to be good. I really do. I think the not having that, like everyone's like, holy fuck, Michigan's going to be the best. And it's just like, you guys got to prove yourself. And I think you're going to. I'm going to go with Illinois. I really am. I hate them. Their fan base hates me. So it hurts me to say, but
they hate me too, Marty.
Yeah, they definitely hate you. But I think a blessing was, like I said, Curbelo left. Cockburn could finally I think he ruined that team.
Coburn.
Yeah, I know. But he's a Cockburn.
That's the one thing, Jeff. There's no way the C and the K is silent.
Yeah, there's just no way.
There's no way. There's no other word is there. The C and the K silent.
Nope. There's just no way you can't just skip over letters.
You can skip over one.
Yeah, one, not two. But
my last name is Disson. That's all.
Yeah. You don't want the dick in your name. You could have had Disson. I'm excited to see who they make. Say like some guy DM'd me that like he was the reason. He was the original picture of you putting a baby, like you being as a baby in Coburn or something. He was like the original picture of like him and his kid, and they photoshopped it. I don't know why it was a random DM I got, but it was just like, yeah, I'm the original guy. I'm like, all right, I don't know what that does for me, but yeah, I think Terrence Shannon Jr. is an X factor for them. They've had a lot of hype too, but I think Cockburn really did ruin that team. They tried to give it to him too many times. He thought he was going to score every time. It just didn't work. All right, but that's the Big Ten. Now I want to move to let's go to the SEC. I think the SEC is an electric conference now. Electric. They love to score. We got like the top three in just Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas. Like Arkansas has, I feel like Arkansas's got all the hype this year. No?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they have all the new kids coming in. I mean, Musselman's done a great job with just transfers and recruiting, and now it's just all going to be about transiting it to the court. I was surprised Jalen Williams left. He ended up being a pretty high pick, surprisingly, and he's in the NBA now. But if he would have came back, I think I'd put them in the Final Four. He obviously didn't come back, but yeah, they're going to be there. You're never going to hear me mention Alabama in that length. They're just not good. They're poorly coached. I'm not going to get into that.
Quinterly's good.
Yeah, but they're just – I'll get in during the season of why they're poorly coached. And again, I don't want to be mean to Nate Oates, but he's not a good coach to me. Florida, I'm very high on them, okay? The big problem with Florida has been coaching. They have a new coach, Todd Golden. He's terrific. They're very deep, and they're a very good team. I think they're a sleeper Final Four team. Yes, also, I said that.
Castleton's got the longest neck of all time.
Yes, he does.
Just a fact. that thing's a giraffe, bro.
He definitely does.
He's good, but his neck is fucking long, man.
Well, he made way for Hunter Dickinson at Michigan.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't remember that. And it was a good decision because I think he'll be a start. He's going to be a star at Florida. This is his last swan song year. They're really good. I like Florida, but it's Kentucky. Okay, that's where I'm going here. This roster is sick, okay? They're a top 3 team to me in America. Wheeler's terrific. He's a perfect guard for me there. They have a ton of talent. Obviously, we know how good Sheboy is. Lance Ware and Toppin and all these different guys. Yeah, I'll pick Kentucky always. But I love all these teams. LSU and Florida and Arkansas. Love the SEC. Love them.
I'm a little scared. Like, I'm going with Arkansas. I'm going with them. They're the number 2 recruiting class. Like, I am a little nervous that Arkansas has any pressure on them because Arkansas kind of came out of nowhere recently with Muss. Ever since he came from Nevada, and like he's done an amazing job. If someone's transferring, I don't even think he talks to them. He just says they're interested. It could be the worst guy. It could be the worst guy in the league. It's always like Arkansas is on that list. It's just a fact. I don't know how they have it so many spots, but listen, that Arkansas is not used to having a target on their back everywhere they go, like on those away games and stuff. Like that's a thing that is crazy in college basketball. College basketball home court advantage is one of the craziest things in the world. And they have a lot to live up to, especially with Kentucky, even though they were did you see that clip where Calipari was like kind of pissed off that they had to do like play Arkansas twice? It's a weird clip. I don't know why he cares. Like I don't think he likes going to Arkansas.
Well, who does? I think that's one of the best. I mean, you're right. When you talk about home atmospheres, the SEC does it like no other. To me,
They really don't.
It's just that simple. I mean, like Auburn, Arkansas, LSU. I mean, they're just Florida. I mean, they're just dens to play, man. They're just brutal. Listen, I'll say with this without Arkansas. You made a good point on Musselman. You know, he just does these wondrous things to get these kids to go there. I mean, Nick Smith was a great one, but Anthony Black, from what I understand, I have a kid at Gonzaga that gives me everything. Always is dead on with his news. He said it was a foregone conclusion Anthony Black was going to go to Gonzaga. Last minute, chooses Arkansas. People just like Musselman, man. They just do.
I'll be honest. I went there. I felt like I was part of the team. Like he makes you feel welcome, and he's just a great guy. Like he's the typical dad. Like every dad joke, and he knows how to use social media, which also helps. Which I do think that helps a lot with college kids, like seeing that they know what the fuck they're doing. But yeah, I mean, I went to Arkansas. There's fast food. There's not much else. Like it's the campus and a bunch of fast food places. But I can tell you that arena is crazy. Like when the other team arrives, like every fan is waiting outside at their bus, screaming at them. That's just their tradition. So I don't know. Arkansas is gonna be very, very interesting to see. It's just gonna be see if like all those top tier talent kids with egos, and that's what happens a lot too. When you think about every year that people have won recently, like Kansas last year they were old. Like they all had a lot of seniors, no really egos anymore. A lot of these freshman classes that come in with 5 stars, 4 stars, they take a little bit to get used to each other, and they aren't winning national. They'll get far, but they don't usually get over the hump. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have some kids that they brought in that are older, you know, the transfers and stuff. But yeah, it's all going to be about, and that's the big thing with any team: cohesion, continuity. You know, and there's no secret that when you get to the end of the season, generally the teams that are at the top are teams with tons of continuity and they play together for a while. One half of a year is not going to generally help a team. That's not easy to do. That's why you need a great coach. If anyone can do it, it's him. But yeah, those are the challenges. I'm curious to see who Hunter likes here, because I think this conference obviously has some great bigs. We know Sheboy and some of Castleton and kids like that. What about you? Who do you like, Hunter?
Yeah, this one was tough for me. Like you guys been saying, obviously Arkansas is going to be really good. They got a lot of good freshmen. I've been going back and forth between two teams. I think I'm going to be a little contrarian here. I'm going to take Tennessee to win. I like Tennessee a lot. I think they got some good guards coming back. Obviously, Rick Barnes, I'm really high on. I think he runs a lot of good stuff. It was between Tennessee and Kentucky for me. Kentucky's got, obviously, Sheboy coming back, Player of the Year candidate. They're always going to have some good freshmen coming in. Wheeler, Marty mentioned him. I like him a lot. But I mean, I wanted to be a little contrarian here and go with Tennessee. We played them obviously last year, and I'm really high on them. I think Josiah James coming back. Vescovi was one of the best shooters in the country. But I'm also high on forget the kid Ziegler, the guard.
Kai Ziegler, yeah.
Yeah, I think he got overshadowed by Kennedy Chandler. I mean, obviously Kennedy Chandler was really good, but I think he is somebody who will definitely take a big step. I think he's one of those sleeper guys that'll be really good in the SEC for sure. So I was leaning. I like Kentucky a lot, but I think Rick Barnes, and they're a little bit older at Tennessee, so I'm going to go with them.
Let's not forget John Fulkerson last year on the old podcast asked for $350 for him to appear on the podcast, so he can go fuck himself. He asked for $350, and then he scored like 6 points a game after. That guy is a loser. Where's he now? No one knows where John Fulkerson is. What an asshole. I love NIL, but I ain't paying you to come on here.
He's got his own hustle, Marty. He's got his own hustle, man.
By the way, John Fulkerson, I believe, is in France, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. France, it's not bad.
I will say one other team, keep an eye on, okay? They did lose Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith, okay? Obviously, Jabari Smith was a top-level player. But Auburn, okay? They bring a lot of kids back. And I always, again, throw the mid-major kids. Janai Broom is an NBA player, okay? I'm telling you right now. Him and Johan Traore up front, big front court, another group of good bigs. They always have good bigs, Bruce Pearl's team. Janai Broom is a lot of people are going to know who he is. He looks a lot like Willie Cauley-Stein. He reminds me of Willie Cauley-Stein, but he's a way better player than Willie Cauley-Stein. It's that simple.
I thought Willie Cauley-Stein was going to be the best player ever.
He's a great defender. He's just
I thought he was going to be
not
so goddamn good.
Yeah. He was great in college.
He's going to be good this year, man. I was looking
they are.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a dogfight, especially, I mean, hope Kentucky fans don't get super mad at me for not picking them. If you guys want a consolation prize, you'll be number 2.
We don't want to pick everyone picking Kentucky.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want everybody. I wanted a little contrarian pick here.
Yeah.
I wanted to be different. I wanted a little surprise, a little value.
But it's nice that this conference isn't just Kentucky anymore. I used to Usually when you played Arkansas, I was like, oh, it's an easy win. It's just like Vanderbilt now. Fucking, I don't know how Vanderbilt. I know that it's really hard to get into Vanderbilt, but their campus is on Broadway in Nashville. How can you not recruit there? Fix that.
I would want to. I mean, they got Scottie Pippen, but I mean,
yeah,
you're right. They should have more.
All right, and Jeff, I want you to tell me. We're going to the Big East. I want you to tell me, why is Creighton the only fucking thing I hear about?
Well, I mean, because they kind of just have that, they're going to score 85 points a game type of team. I mean, they're deep. They're really good offensively. And, you also don't hear as much about Villanova because Jay Wright's gone.
And I think that's stupid.
Yeah, I think this conference as a whole, I mean, I don't know. I think it's overrated year to year. I think we constantly talk about how good of a conference it is, and this year I think it'll be solid. I mean, Xavier's a good team. I think UConn will obviously be solid. Villanova will still be very good. But I think it really, why you're hearing about them so much is because I think the rest of the conference is just not great. They have a ton of talent. I mean, Nemhard and Trey Alexander and Kaluma, and they bring Shireman in from South Dakota State, who is just a marksman. They're going to score a lot of points. I mean, first game they play tomorrow night, they're probably going to score 100. It's that simple. They just when you don't play defense, you're going to do whatever. They're going to be able to do whatever they want. But again, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's just not a lot of great teams in this conference.
Big East has gotten away with a lot as of late because Villanova has been really good and winning championships. So it's just Big East is fine. There's UConn's hasn't been UConn. They're all the same team to me, to be honest. They're all wear blue, a different shade of blue.
That is true.
Xavier and Butler, the same team.
Georgetown.
Georgetown's the worst. Even though they won, how'd they win the Big East that whenever?
That tournament?
Yeah, what?
I will say, I mean, a team that you have to keep an eye on. There are two teams, and I think New York basketball this year is really good. St. John's, going to be a great offensive team to watch all season. And Seton Hall, because I've said before, and I'll say this again, I'm not a Willard guy, okay? I think a lot of that has to do with the fact I don't hate him as a coach. I just think he wasted so much really good talent there. And I think Shaheen is going to get the things out of that roster that he couldn't, and he's going to build that roster into a really good team. A lot of kids came over with him. They're a really interesting team as well. I like Tyrese Samuel a lot. But you're right. It is a group with a lot of very similar type teams. I know a lot of people are high on Xavier. Providence is always kind of that, tough team at home, and they struggle on the road. I think it's a big mishmash, really. I think you could go a number of ways, but you're going to hear Creighton as Goodman has them top 5 in the country. I think that's a little high personally, but there's a lot of reasons to be excited about them.
So who are you going to win it?
I'm going to go with I'll go Creighton just because of how good I think they are on offense. But I think Seton Hall is really interesting, and I like Xavier. Like I said, tomorrow Creighton, they play a team called St. Thomas, one of the worst teams in America defensively. They might score 100 in that game. Just going to say that now.
I'm going with Villanova because I think it's going to be a lot of just, he's gone. It's still Villanova. Obviously he had a huge impact, but I think they're just going to run it again. Everyone's like, "What the fuck? I thought we got rid of him, and that's it." But I'm going Villanova.
Yeah, and look, Neptune's a really good coach, so I think it's going to be similar to the way of what we said about Duke. You're going to have kind of that, it should go seamlessly right into the next hands.
I mean, the thing about Villanova, obviously Jay Wright not being there is going to be tough, but having Justin Moore out. Obviously, I played with Justin Moore. I think he's the best player on that team. Having him out for so long is going to be hard for them. But Jay Wright leaving, it's just because you have the same system, it's not the same not having that guy there. For the biggest thing will probably be the in-game adjustments, not having that in there. I think that'll really be tough for them, especially for the first year. This conference was probably the hardest for me to pick. I think there's a lot of great teams or a lot of good teams. I won't say great, but a lot of good teams in this conference. Obviously, you got Creighton up there, but for me, I think I might go with another contrarian pick here. It was between two teams, and I think I'm going to go with Seton Hall. I think I'm going to take them. Like you said, they got the new coach in there. I really like this team from last year. They're bringing Kadari Richmond back. I was big on him. They got the transfer Dawes from Clemson. I like him a lot. Yetna is another guy, left-handed. We played him last year. I thought he was really good. Jameer Harris, bucket. And so I think I'm gonna go with them. I'm feeling a little contrarian now after my first couple picks, and so I feel like them. Another team that I like a lot is UConn. Jordan Hawkins, I think, is going to be NBA player either this year or next year. So them, like you said, the Providence, Coach Cooley, one of the best coaches I think in America.
The nicest guy too. I want to get him on. He's literally the best.
I might. Wait, do you have his number?
No, I don't have it, but I have like a contact. Why
I do know him. I know an assistant, so I'll try to.
Let's set that up. He's the best.
I do love Cooley, man. When I was getting recruited, they definitely had me for a minute there.
I asked him to be just like make sure his pants don't rip ever again. Like, that was the fucking best.
He's the man. He's the man.
He really is the man. All right, so now I want to just go because I don't want to be too long, but I want to give the most information as we can.
You want to do Pac-12 or no?
You want to do Pac-12?
I'll just throw it out.
Go through it fast.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of really question here. UCLA is the best team in the Pac-12. It's that simple. I know a lot of people are going to throw out Arizona. I love Tommy Lloyd. I think he's going to be a
great coach.
He's going to win a national title at Arizona. It's that simple. But I got to tell you, Kirk Kreese is not good enough. Kirk Kreese is not a good point guard. He's a head case to me as well. I don't want him in control of my team. And I think that really cheapens Arizona to me. He could be better, but we'll see. It's all about UCLA. It's all about Jaquez. It's all about that team. They bring back everybody as far as really outside of, Johnny Juzang. But, that being said, I love Tiger Campbell. I think he's a dog at the point guard position. I like Jalen Clark. it's all about UCLA. It's pretty simple. It's pretty cut and dry to me. Oregon will be good as well, but I like UCLA.
I agree that I don't think it's. I think people will throw out Arizona, but I think it's definitely UCLA this year. Pac-12. Pac-12 gets a lot of. It's on too late. It's just on too late.
It's really not too late, man.
It is.
I'll tell you this. I've said it before. One of my favorite things on earth is 11 o'clock Pac-12. WCC games.
Yeah,
I'm corny like that.
You
But
gamble though, like that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing on you. Like when you're watching, and people don't have jobs like us that we can stay up late all
yeah,
day.
for sure. I know.
Most people watching or listening to this, they watch the 7 o'clock, then even the 9 o'clock game, they're stretching their night out. It's like, oh fuck. And then the 11 o'clock Oregon's playing. Your eyes are you can't watch the court because their court is just flaring at you. They're on too late. That's just what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I get that.
All right. I want to do our final four predictions.
Can I get my pick? Oh, Martin.
Yeah, we're doing pick. Okay, go.
I'm going to go Arizona. I like Nadu said, I think Tommy Lloyd is a top 10 coach in college basketball. The stuff he run, we played him last year. We got blown out pretty bad. It was just a bad game for us. I really like the stuff they run. UCLA is definitely going to be really good, but Arizona, Keir Christie, I like him. They got a nice freshman, Boswell coming in. Omar Ballo, really good. I don't think he got enough playing. Obviously, he was playing behind Koloko. I like Ballo a lot. And then their four-man Tubelis, really good left-handed guy. I think with the sets they run, I think they'll be pretty good and pretty hard to stop this year.
Look at you, Hunter. Look at you fucking coming all prepared to this. This guy's an analyst, too. He ain't just a player. All right. I want to go Final Fours. Obviously, it's just a wild guess because it's not just a play. It's just we don't know the path anyone's going to get, whatever. But who you guys really are thinking that's going to make an impact this year. And then we'll go through some mid-majors. We'll get Hunter off. I want Nadu's best bets tomorrow, and we'll be done. So, Jeff, you want to start?
Yeah, I'm going to go UNC, UCLA, Texas, and Houston. And I just want to kind of continue to talk about Houston. I think Sasser's as good as it gets. I love Jerace Walker. Again, I keep anchoring and saying the word culture. I love what they do there. I think that just the coaching and the way they play and the way they play defense, it's dogged. I love Houston. So I go UCLA, Texas, UNC, Houston. Pretty cut and dry. I'm not going too crazy. Pretty simple.
No, I like it. Houston's just a team that I just always will doubt, and they just shut me up every March. They just keep playing great defense, just a good, really, really well-coached team, and it's annoying as fuck. It annoys the shit out of me, and I'm wrong about them. I don't like them, but I'm wrong about them. So I like that. Hunter, what do you got?
Obviously Michigan is going to be the first pick for me. But I'm with Nadu on Houston. Houston's just a really good coach team, super scrappy. One thing you need to win a national championship is defense, and Houston's always going to have that this year. So I'm going to go with them. I wanted to pick some little contrarian picks as well, but you have to have North Carolina in there. I feel like just with all the talent that they're bringing back, you got to have them somewhere in there. And then I feel like an SEC team is going to break through, and I think this year I don't want to take my Tennessee because I don't want to get their heads too big. So I think I might roll with a little Kentucky. I'm gonna go with Kentucky.
They're good, man. They're fucking good.
Kentucky's got a lot of good freshmen. Sheboy. I think the biggest thing that's going to help them is not even anything to do with this year. I think last year losing to St. Peter's is going to motivate them like crazy in the tournament time. I don't think they're going to get caught sleeping by anybody. I think they're going to be super motivated come tournament time. So I think that'll probably be the biggest motivation and the biggest help for them. Yes, I'm leaving Gonzaga out. I know that they have a really good team. and they're going to get their cupcake 1 seed, and so they're going to have all that. But it's just tough to not play any good teams for 2 to 3 months and then have to go and win 6 hard games all in neutral sites. I think it's just tough. They're going to have a great team, but like I said, I think it's just going to be really tough for them.
I like that. I like that as well. I'm going Duke. I am going Arkansas. I am going with Texas. And my fourth one, I can't even get it out of my fucking mouth, but I'm going to Illinois. I hate it. I hate it. I hate them.
Marty, now let me remind you, Marty, they haven't made it out of second weekend in a really
They've
long
been
time.
bad.
Made it out of the first weekend. Sorry, they haven't made it to a second
I
weekend.
really think that
in a long
they
time.
got rid of their Iowa was amazing, obviously, but when you have that just one guy that you're always going to, it's like Duke has dealt with it a lot. Like they always have to go to Apollo. They always have. I mean, they had Zion, and they couldn't even do that. Like this is
That's crazy.
Illinois is a more complete team this year, I think, instead of just having get the ball down low to Cobra and get the ball down. I don't know. That's what I think, but that's our Final Fours. We'll probably none of us will be right.
Honestly,
one at least.
If I just get anybody, Michigan and another team right, as long as I get Michigan right, I'll be happy. Screw it.
Yeah, he'll be good.
As long as I picked Michigan right, I'll be happy.
I wanted Jeff. You want to have anything sleepers of mid majors and anything you want to give?
Yeah. Before I do that, you want to get our guy on here? He's been waiting.
Yeah.
Right,
well, he's always going to be on here, but this is our guy, John Ciampa. I knew we needed a little help on some social media things, and this guy. You go to Southern New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, Southern New Hampshire.
I love. He's got like the high little bunk bed thing behind him with nothing on the wall.
Yeah, I got my TV set up on like a Rubbermaid tote on top of my fridge. I got the whole real college setup going.
But yeah, he's gonna be. He's our guy tweeting, Instagram, TikTok. So everyone go follow the TikTok. He'll be posting every single day, right?
Yeah, every day, multiple times a day.
I love that. So you've been helping us out a lot. So just wanted to give him some shine real fast. And he cuts up everything. So shout out John Ciampa.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Shout out.
Yeah,
shout out Ciampa. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Whoops. I hit my cam. I got to remove him and add me back. Okay. Mid-majors. Listen, guys, you're going to hear a lot about the name Bryant Bulldog.
Stole my shine, Jeff.
Okay.
Damn it.
They're from Smithfield, Rhode Island. And remember this. There'll be people at Barstool, okay? They'll tell you a lot about Bryant. I've been on Bryant and Jared Grasso since they came around. It's
wow. Roscoe and the dude could be in the same headspace for once, who both love Bryant. Look at that.
Yeah, I
hate you to do. You stole all my shine just now.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've been a Bryant. Go back and read. I've been a big Bryant guy. People know that. And listen, this roster, and I'm sure Hunter knows this. I mean, this roster is sick. I mean, they have a really good roster. I know they lose Peter Kiss, the number one scorer in America, but they bring back Charles Pride, who I think is number 2 there. They had Doug Edert from St. Peter's.
You think he's going to be good?
Yeah, at that school, absolutely.
Just because I know he's just like that. He was obviously the Cinderella story for.
Yeah, he'll do good things in that offense. That he's a Peter Kiss type of player, so I think that's a perfect kind of place for him to go. Earl Timberlake, who was at Memphis. I mean, that's a crazy talented kid to have. Antoine Walker from Rhode Island, Kayvon Kramer from Hofstra. I mean, this team is really good. Okay, top to bottom. And remember, they're in the America East this year, not the NEC. They're going to battle it out with Vermont, Jake Marsh, the Fighting Jake Marshes. That'll be a great back and forth. Vermont, Bryant.
Vermont Rhode Island needs some competition there too.
Say that again?
Vermont needs some competition.
Yes, they do. That's good point, Marty.
I know the America East because he talked about it a lot, and they stink.
My brother played at Binghamton. I'm very aware of how bad the America East is.
And like Stony Brook is like.
Yeah, it's like
when my brother played at Binghamton was the worst college in the country. I think they won like one tournament game, so they were like 2 and like 30, I think, that year. They were the worst team in college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you got the UMass Lowells and the UMBCs. This is not a great conference. And I think you're right. Vermont and John Becker needed some competition. They're going to get it with Bryant. That's going to be a great back and forth in that conference. Another team that I'll throw out, they're always good, and I want to always give them some shine because, again, they define the word culture. And I know this because I've been out there to watch games. San Diego State. Okay, they have one of the best cultures in basketball.
Good.
Defensively, they're as good as it gets. And I know you know a lot about them, Hunter, because of just the Steve Fisher stuff and just the connections. You know, coaching-wise, Dutcher is not far off. Defensively, they're incredible. Offensively, they're going to be much better, too. They added some transfers at the guard positions I really like. They could be a sleeper Elite Eight type of team. I really think so. So keep an eye on San Diego State. But we'll get the juices flowing with mid-major stuff. There's a lot of teams out there. We'll obviously hear about a lot of different things, but a couple teams just keep an eye on. Hunter, what do you want to say about Bryant?
I'm mad that you stole my shine there, Jeff. I'm not gonna lie. I am a
great
huge,
mind think alike.
I'm a huge Bryant guy. Earl Timberlake, I played with him in high school. That's one of my closest friends. I truly believe he shouldn't even be in college basketball right now. I think if he would have went to the right situation instead of going to Miami, I think he would not be in college right now. I think that's going to end up being, one of the best transfers in the country right there. Walker from Rhode Island, he's going to be a man amongst boys in that conference. Tyler Brailsford's another guy who I've been playing with ever since I was like 8. And so, yeah, I think that team, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a Sweet 16 out of that team for sure. But I also like that San Diego State pick too. I think Matt Bradley, we played them last year. And then I think I played with Matt Bradley at a camp one time. Really super, he's got a weird build because he's like 6'4", but he's super stocky.
Yeah.
And he really uses that to his advantage. So I do like that.
He looks like a fullback, right?
Yes.
He's a big, beefy kid. Their guard plays really good, too. Darian Trammell comes over from Seattle, great player. Lamont Butler. They have a kid, Nathan Mensah, up top, just a big, huge kid.
Not bad. That he's a good big man. He wasn't bad when we played them.
Yeah.
Guys,
I really like San Diego State.
When's the last time a mid-major won the national championship?
Doesn't happen often.
That's why I don't give a shit.
But I think.
But that's just why.
St. Peter's.
Yeah, again, that's what. Tell us how many Final Fours have had these kind of teams in them.
100%. I'm being transparent. That's why I have Jeff Nadu and Hunter and Bohannon on this show because I don't give a shit about mid majors. I've always said that. I love getting people pissed off about it because purists, obviously, those are the best games, honestly, to watch sometimes, not just the big ones. But I think this is why I need to do slinging out knowledge about the mid majors.
Yeah, I mean, and once we get to some picks, you'll hear it for sure. But yeah, that's and again, this is just kind of we're getting the juices flowing for the season. We obviously can't sit here and go over every single team, right?
Yeah, we're already an hour and 8 in. We can't be doing that. Absolutely. And I don't want for the listeners. We're not going to be a show that goes over every game, the box score. We're going to just take the biggest takes, so storylines. I don't want to bore you, but I do want to give you also the most information possible for gambling or just to watch. And it's nice to be knowledgeable about the sport. So that's why I brought all these guys on who, one, studies it all the time, and two, that actually play. So.
And I will say, too, I think there's a great kind of grouping here as far as Barstool, right? So we have this show. This is kind of the overall look at college hoops, right? We may do a pick or two occasionally, but I actually am going to do that myself. I'll have Marty on occasion if he wants to come on. I'm going to do that once a day, go over these cards. So there's a little bit of semblance between the two. Okay, I can talk gambling, but I know that's not what everyone wants. But then when the day of the games come, you want that. So there's going to be all sorts of different things going on. But yeah, we have a little good group of people here that do all sorts of different things.
So actually, you know what, Jeff? We're going to leave the gambling off the show. I want to end the show on some questions that the fans wrote in.
I will just say real quick, if you're listening to this on Monday, okay, 4 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to be talking about all these games on Barstool Sportsbook's YouTube channel. I got plenty of picks, plenty of overs, a lot of breakdowns. So check that out if you want picks. But yeah, let's do some questions.
A couple questions and we'll get out of here. Who's going to be the best freshman?
I'll let Hunter. Hunter, who do you got?
Man, that's a tough question for me. This is probably the first freshman class that I'm not too familiar with. I mean, obviously the bias is going to be screaming out of this answer. Jett Howard from the University of Michigan. I mean, yes, am I biased? Yeah, I don't care. You can go talk to your mom about it. I don't really care. Jett Howard, the man could honestly, like, he had 30 last night or 2 nights ago in the exhibition. He was 10 from 12 from the field. He could do that, honestly, every night if he wanted to. He could also go over 12 one night. But, that, I mean, Jett Howard has got a lot of potential, and I think in this offense he'll have a lot of opportunity to score. And so, obviously, I'm going to be biased with Jett Howard. But if Jett Howard was not an NCAA basketball player, I would probably go Keontae George from Baylor.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I'll go Nick Smith at Arkansas. We talked about them.
That's what I was going to say.
I just think that's a great kind of group for him to be a part of. That offense is going to be fun, up and down. He's a Little Rock kid. He's an Arkansas kid. He's the best guard in the class. He's the best guard in the state. He's the best guard in the class. I'll say that again. I think in that offense, with that coach, with that team around him, with the Anthony Blacks and the different kids they brought in, he's going to thrive. That's a really good basketball player. And look, obviously the kids at Duke, obviously Lively. I mean,
Lively's going to be really good, man.
Yeah. But this is a great freshman group. I mentioned Jerace Walker at Houston. We talked about Hood Schifino at Indiana. These are all kids that played at Montverde and IMG, right? So that just goes to show how good some of these teams are that are national. So, I'll go with Nick Smith.
Let's do 2 more. Who is what's actually going to do this one's? I'll give to you. Will Manhattan win a game this year?
Will they win a game? Yeah. So look, they obviously had some unfortunate things that came up with them
Which is
firing.
really fucked up to do. Yeah, I think it's really fucked up.
Terrible.
I mean, it's hard to think. Your coach leaves literally a week and a half before the season starts. I mean, it's just a really hard situation. I will say, I mean, they play VCU. They're 20-point dogs, game 1. They're going to get crushed in that game. But they do play Central Connecticut and Fairleigh Dickinson in second and third games. It wouldn't surprise me if they got a win. Will they win a game? Yeah, they're going to win a game. They're not the worst team in the country. They're in a precarious situation, though, and I feel bad for those kids because, generally when we look at coaches and off-the-court shit, it's kids that usually get screwed in the end. I always go back, Hunter. Do you remember Brian Bowen? Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Brian Bowen it's absolutely a crime what happened to Brian Bowen. Okay, so Brian Bowen was involved with that whole FBI thing. He was the center of one of the investigations. Now, Brian Bowen, people completely used him for his basketball talent. He was basically barred from college basketball and never allowed to play, and his career was wasted. It's pathetic. The kids always get screwed in the end, and I think the kids in Manhattan are being screwed. That's a shame. But they will win a game, yes.
That Brian Bowen thing is crazy, Jeff. The whole investigation was the FBI basically like trying to like the dude wasn't even trying to pay. Like he wasn't even trying to pay him like the way that they were trying to do. Like they were basically like trying to force him into doing something that he wasn't even trying to do. It was
his father and people that were overseeing him were doing it. They were basically
the
doing
kid
things
the kid didn't do anything. How can you blame the kid?
Yeah,
if the father's the one that's trying to.
It's a shame. The kids always get screwed, but Manhattan will win a game. Yes.
All right, last question. Who's going to be more of a disappointment, Iowa or Tennessee?
Well, listen, Jordan's not here to defend himself. I would definitely, if you're asking me that question, I would go with Iowa because
I don't think Iowa. I think Tennessee can be a disappointment. I don't think Iowa can. Like Iowa kind of they played better than everyone thought they were going to last year. Like I don't think anyone's really expecting them to be crazy good this year.
It's a weird question. for sure.
Yeah,
Because I agree with you. Like, I think Tennessee is a Final Four caliber team. I don't think Iowa is, right? So it's like, I don't. If Iowa goes to the NCAA tournament, does what they normally do, that's not a disappointment to me. It's a weird question.
Yeah, I mean Tennessee's also like the most hyped up team almost every year in every sport, and they always somehow. I mean, obviously football is different a little bit this year, but like
no, it isn't. They got fucking wiped out by Georgia, buddy.
I know, but they're still out their path because of Alabama losing. They still
Hey
have a path.
man, Michigan's got to get in that playoff somehow, man. That's what I'm saying.
Michigan's. It's all going to come down to Ohio State, my friend.
But the thing is,
I
there's
think if
also
we lose one game, there's a way for us to get in.
no. I think there's a path if Ohio State barely loses to if Michigan barely loses to Ohio State. But that's we don't need to talk about that. I just think that Tennessee can just be disappointing. But boys, I think that's a good roundup of the first episode of the first games coming out. Tomorrow's a grind. 12 o'clock games. There's late game. There's so many games you can't. We're not going to be able to touch every single game. I don't. If you guys will complain, if there's a lot of complaints about teams, I'll talk about them. But we like the questions. I think we'll always end shows on fan questions, which is good. But yeah, Hunter, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'm expecting 15 or more at least.
Well, listen, here's a little thing. Okay, Hunter is going to do that. This Purdue Fort Wayne team is horrid on the block. He should score 20. It's that simple.
All right, that's the Jeff Nadu insider right there. But hey, everyone, thank you for listening. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe. Leave a review. 5-star. We're gonna get more involved with the fans soon. We'll even have some fans on if we get to that point. And I wanted to hear everyone's student sections, who's the best student section in the country. But that is Roundball. We will see you. This is 2 episodes a week now. It'll be coming out Mondays and Thursdays. So we'll see you on Thursday. See you guys.